Hello all, welcome to NodeJS session. I am Bharath Dhananjaya. Today I would like to talk about NodeJS, what is NodeJS and the importance of NodeJS and why we have to use NodeJS and the importance and the features of NodeJS. Yeah, so coming back to the first slide, what is Node.js meant for? Okay, so Node.js is another open source toolkit for developing server-side application, and it is based on the V8 JavaScript engine. So V8 JavaScript engine is one of the very critical engine which Node.js is using. So because we must be knowing that the Chrome is already using this V8 JavaScript engine as a compiler, so it's a very fast compiler which is used by the Google Chrome as well. That's the reason you can see that compared to other browsers, Google Chrome's rendering and all is very fast. Okay, so and the V8 is actually written in C++ and it's mostly known being used in Google Chrome. And Node is part of the server-side JavaScript environment and extended JavaScript API to offer usual server-side functionalities. So don't think that when I'm talking about a JS, it's basically on the UI front. So Node.js is purely used here is for the server side as well. And it's actually an asynchronous event-driven framework. Node.js is designed to build scalable network applications. Okay, so why Node.js is used for? Okay. First and for most important thing we need to remember is Node.js is famous for its performance and scalability. So V8 compiles and executes JavaScript at a lightning speed because it compiles JavaScript into a native machine code. And so that's the one part of it where we can think about performance and scalability, how it has been adopted within Node.js. And the second thing is event looping, the single threaded that performs all IO operations asynchronously. So mainly it deals with asynchronous operations with a single thread, so it doesn't span multiple threads to achieve multiple operations, and doesn't do a wait and watch kind of operations inside that. And reading data from file system, DB executes very fast, robust and consistent. So it's very easy, if someone wanted to develop something using a Node.js very quick enough, we can write a very basic Node.js API which takes hardly 30 minutes for us to expose a Node.js API service. And you just go to the node per package module, so where you will get that Node.js DLLs, so and you can start doing the Node.js on your machine. Architecture, design the system to use end-to-end. Basically, people who are familiar with JavaScripts will be feeling very happy because it's end-to-end architecture where you can make sure that the client server and persistence layer is completely written in JavaScript, so that everyone doesn't need to learn any new technology at all. So it's very lightweight and user-friendly for people who know JavaScript very well. And for server side, we will use a socket.io to manage long-term real-time connections. And yeah, as a database side, you can go for NoSQLs like Mongo, Couch, or Cassandra to store the database. Real time made easy because concurrent connections are very fast, as I explained in the previous session. So it uses mainly the asynchronous IO operations with a single thread. So the concurrent connections will be very fast, and event loop takes care of multi-user requirements and really good in chat and games, etc. Performing perfect for offering a RESTful API. Node.js, the framework. So Node.js has also come up with the frameworks like Express, Koa, and Happy. So basically, one of the commonly used framework is an Express, where it also provides you the sort of dependencies which is required when you are going for any sort of development. So basically, it takes care about it also takes care about most of the internal things required, like IRC server or chat server if you want to develop it. So all its dependent features will be embedded within an Express module, and it's not strictly for web development. In fact, you can think about Node as a framework for server development as well. Okay, so this is what the Node.js processing model. Okay, so basically when the client makes a request from from any browser, so for reading a file or anything. So this is how the request is processed. Okay, so it basically goes to an event loop, returns a result to a client. Okay, so as I mentioned that it's a single thread. You basically look at that event loops is work by OS passes request plus response objects as a JavaScript goes to worker functions with a callback functions. This mainly uses the callback functions when it delivers the request for a particular user. And asynchronous callbacks is one of the key features about Node.js. So the typical pattern in Node.js is to use asynchronous callbacks. Basically you are telling it to do something, and when it is done it will call your function. Okay, so we all know that callback functions and delegates, so how it works so in any other technology. So but it actually the complete model is built using that technology efficiently. Okay, so this is because Node is single threaded. While you are waiting on a callback to fire, Node can go off and do another instead of blocking. There is no worker threads or any blockers as of here. So if one request is fired, so another request simultaneously will be start executing it without waiting for the first request to complete. So that's the reason where we can say that the concurrencies are handled efficiently. Node.js architecture, this is where the Node.js is event driven with non-blocking IO, uses the event loop for non-blocking IO. So Node.js is a single threaded. Okay, so this is what I was explaining in the last the previous slides. So it uses VI, thread pool, event loop, DNS, and crypto OpenSSL. All are its internal libraries. So infrastructure architecture is very quite similar to the other technology which uses. So you can build a load balancer to make for high availability and make sure that your Node.js app is being hosted on different nodes, and each nodes will be connected to a load balancer. When the request comes, the load balancer, you can use sticky connections, or it's a round robin algorithm where it makes sure that the load will be distributed among all the servers, and it will be served from the servers. The traffic will not be anywhere. It is unevenly distributed, and you cannot think about any sort of latencies from the particular node. And yeah, so we all talk about advantages. Let's talk about disadvantages of Node.js, because it's a lot of data types and modules are unstable, because you cannot expect that we have so many databases like SQL, Oracle, and MySQL, and a lot of NoSQL databases. You cannot expect that the drivers are available for everything, because it start emerging giving the drivers wherever the technology is efficiently and wide scale used, are not well suited for relational DBs as another thing, and the lack of standard libraries and CPU intensive tasks are not visible. Okay, so anybody using it, Node.js is very much used in most of the RESTful APIs. The LinkedIn users, eBay, PayPal, Yahoo, all these bigger companies which is adopting the Node.js for their large scale applications, which is heavily used and serving a lot of concurrent requests. Yes, that's it about the quick walkthrough on the Node.js. I hope you guys have got a glimpse about what is Node.js and where it's used. So I will also talk about the practical sessions about how the Node.js APIs can be written in the next session. Thank you all.